Back in the building, y'all. Episode 58, Jock Johnson podcast. Hey, the mastermind behind the mic, the podcast. Unc is back at it once again. Uh, Before we go on, man, if you hadn't checked out the podcast, check it out. It's available here on the YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe to it. Also, set those notifications so when I drop a new episode, you'll be alerted. Also, hit me up in the comments section for any comments and thoughts. Love to hear from you. And also, if you want to be a guest on this show, hit me up in my email at jockjpodcast@gmail.com. And also, you can find me on IG at The Real Jock Johnson. So hit me up. All right, got all the preliminaries out of the way. Last week I talked about being out, having technical difficulties and all that shit. Here we go again. Here we go again. Once again. I was in here this past Saturday, getting ready to work on a new episode. And I started watching YouTube. Okay, I watch car channels and all. I watch CJ on 32s, my family life with the Ikes, Real to Real. I watch all those guys, Mr. 75 Caprice. I watch all those damn car channels, man, because they do some great shit with the cars and all. The content is dope. So I was actually watching CJ on 32s. He had dropped a new episode. Damn, me get it right. New episode. And I was in the midst of it, probably about 10 minutes or so in. And the motherfucking computer went. So shit blacked out. And I'm thinking my damn power here in the damn house in the studio here was like, damn, what the fuck is going on? And it was my hard drive. I actually tried to cut it back on. Couldn't get it to come back on. Called my son in. He's a computer guy. He does this shit because he sets up a lot of shit for me. Tried to work on it. Couldn't get it to come back on. I'm like, not again. And I just talked about this shit. Been having issues with the platform and all that. And it went out. Computer went out. Now I'm in the process of sending it back. I had warranty on it. So they actually sent me a box out for the hard drive so I can box it up and send it back out. But the good thing about last week, I think it was that Friday. I think it was on a Friday. I went out and I had ordered a terabyte. I'm like, man, I got to go get something to back up my fucking work because I've got a lot of information on his hard drive with my episodes and all, and a lot of other shit. So the good thing about that is that I got that terabyte and I transferred all of my shit over on that motherfucker, man. And then this past weekend, fucking hard drive went out. Man. And I was like, man, if I had done that, my son said the same thing. If we hadn't did that, I would have lost a lot of shit. You realize how many music artists or podcasters or whatever, that's lost so much information from their hard drive, crashing and didn't have no backup source. That shit, man, would have really torn me up, man. Even though, I got all this, content out here on platforms and shit, but it's not like, like having your own shit, having it here, So I advise anybody out there that, if you, working with computers and all and doing a lot of work on computers, whether it's a desktop or a laptop, get you some backup, man, because when that motherfucker goes out, it's a loss. It's a loss, and it would have been a real big loss for me if I had lost all my shit. So I was fortunate enough to have my laptop because in the beginning, when I graduated up to the laptop, it's available now. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that I have it. It helped me out a hell of a lot with doing the episode because the first thing came to my mind is like, I'm not gonna be able to do shit. Once that damn hard drive went out, I'm not gonna be able to do nothing. And that shit was gonna be nerve wracking, man. But had my old faithful, man. Had the laptop here, on it now. And my son came in and hooked up a monitor. I got dual monitors, so he hooked up one of them. That way I can open up a browser. And if I want to pull up something, I can do it. Now I'm still been having a little glitches and shit with the platform and all, but that's a lot better. Than what it has been here in the last few days. So I'm glad I'm able to, get in here because, this is what I do, man. This is what I do. I've been in here, I've been down for quite some time. And I'm like, no, I can't have this shit. So the devil is a lie. The devil is a lie. So, we talked about last week with Bishop T.D. Jakes, the breaking news with him having a health scare, doing a sermon at his church. He's actually a lot better. He had, said that he had a procedure done. And also, we're going to go into it just a little bit because he had an update. He had an update where he spoke to the congregation. And we're going to go into it with the bishop. It says right here in the write-up that Bishop T.D. Jakes gives a health update after life-threatening calamity. So it goes on to say that he said, I told you last Sunday that I would see you this Sunday, and so here I am. Jakes told the cheering crowd. Now, last Sunday, Jakes, 67, suffered what the Potter House originally called a minor health incident while delivering a sermon. Now, many of you don't realize you're looking at a miracle. Jakes goes on to say this past Sunday, I faced a life-threatening calamity, rushed to the ICU unit. I had an emergency surgery, survived the surgery. But he didn't go on into, what was the cause and all that. So, and as you see right there, there's a photo of him actually when he was talking to the congregation. So he's apparently doing a lot better. And, the internet, the internet going to have their thoughts about Bishop Jakes. The first thing, they bring it up, like I said before, about this Diddy situation and all these other little things that's going on surrounding. I'm glad this man is all right. Don't none of us want to go through that. I don't want to have that. As I said before, I don't want to have no medical emergency, something dealing with my health. But it happens. Okay, it happens. So he's doing better. Spoke to the congregation. Don't know exactly when he'll be back preaching. So, he's coming back real soon. So we'll see how that turns out. But from the looks of it, he's doing a lot better. All right. So today, I actually saw this today and definitely want to, this man, Randy Moss, is also having some issues and he's asking for prayers from everyone, man. He's having this issue with, and it was noticed that his eyes were, yellow, and he got some stuff going on internally. He's not telling everybody about. I guess he's not ready to let people know what's going on with him, but he's asking for prayers, thoughts and prayers, man. For him. You hate to see this. This guy, man, was a hell of a wide receiver, man, now analyst and all. And you hate to see this. So thoughts and prayers with Randy Moss, man. Hell of a wide receiver, bro. Hell of a wide receiver. All right, so, Thanksgiving. We just had Thanksgiving. And hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving, man, by the way. I'm thankful every day. That's the way I look at it. Thanksgiving is not like it used to be because, back in the days of growing up, you had a lot of people that were still here that, and it was so exciting during the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas. But unfortunately, you got people that's gone. But I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Mine was pretty good. I was thankful to be here. And I'm thankful every day to be able to wake up, because a lot of people don't wake up. So it's a blessing in its own just to be able to wake up every day. And Christmas holiday is upon us. These holidays are running neck and neck. And then this thing with the Black Friday right after Christmas, man. I mean, after Thanksgiving, excuse me. Man, motherfuckers, back in the day would run over each other trying to get in these stores after hours, in the wee hours of the morning. And in some cases, it may be still going on. But, now with all the things you can do now, going online and ordering shit, catching deals and all that, which is, I think, one of the best things that could have happened, is being able to go online and order shit instead of getting out there in a line in the cold weather or, and fighting through these crowds, because there's some people out there here locally I saw on the news where there was lines of people at different locations, 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, trying to catch these deals. And I know they used to show it nationally where, in these big cities where people will be in line and shit running over each other trying to get in the store once they open the doors and shit, man. I've never been a part of that shit, man. I've never been a part of that shit. Don't want to be a part of that. So, going online that shit is very convenient, man. Very convenient. Less stress. Like I said, you can catch those deals and all. And, it's better that way. It's better that way. All right, so, this shit is going to be funny. This episode is going to be funny, man, because, some things, man, you got to let go. All right. You got to let some shit go. Whether it's hair or was a relationship, this shit not working right, or, and I find it funny though with the hair shit, because I can remember back when my shit was receding. Okay. I used to have a big fro. I wish I had some pictures here, man, where I could show you shit. Had braids back, once upon a time. Some motherfuckers probably look at me and like, man, this nigga had braids? Yeah. Yeah, had braids, man. And fucking hairline, man. And I used to be bad about wearing fucking hats, the baseball hats and shit, man. And back some years back, motherfuckers used to have the braids and had fucking, the little do-rag or whatever tied and shit hanging down. And then you got the ball hat over the top. I used to wear hats a lot. Used to rock the hats. And this shit is hereditary though in my family, because mainly all the guys in the family are bald, exception for, maybe a few of them. That shit start receding. And there's, nigga braids was sitting back on his damn head, starting to sit back. So motherfucker used to put a hat on, just try to, make it look like everything was all good, cover that front up and your braids hanging down. But it was time to cut that shit, man. It was the time to make a decision. Now, I've been bald for quite some time now. I started out, man, when I actually told some people that I'm gonna cut my fucking hair, man, because my damn hairline, I said, this shit is going back and look like I'm freaking to be like a fucking monk. I'm like, no, I'm not having that shit. I can't have that. So I end up, took the scissors, started clipping a little bit with, took the braids down and started clipping that shit. And then I end up getting the clippers, put the guard on and trim that shit out, because I used to have a lot of hair. I trimmed that shit down. I said, well, I'm not going to cut this shit bald. I'm not going to cut it bald just yet. I ain't fit to try that shit. I'm just going to cut it down and see what the shit starting to look like. And I ended up trimming it down real low. So, I start getting out, okay, my head is kind of fitting this shit, man. I think this shit gonna be all right. So I rocked that shit for about a week. And then after that, I said, no, I'm gonna go ahead and just go on shave this shit, man. Bald head shit. That shit is out there. Shit, motherfuckers rocking that bald head. And I did that. So for those of you that are out there, and that's just my opinion, if that shit is to the point where, man, you need to go on and cut that shit. Let it go. Let it go. Why hang on to it? Your fucking hairline is way back here. You actually wasting money when you go to the barber trying to keep that shit. And these barbers, man, hey, man, some of them will probably tell you, hey, man, I think it's about that time. They got all these spray-ins and shit now. All these fake carpet shit, to put on your head now to make it look like you got hair. Man, I'm not going through all that. Not going through that. Let that shit go. Let it go. You see a number of people on TV, celebrities and all that shit, man. And one in particular. And I actually saw him on, I think it was on the Pivot a while back. The guys was fucking with him on there. And you already probably know what I'm talking about. You already know. This guy right here. Yeah. Cut that shit, man. Let it go, bro. Look how fucking far that hairline is back. Let it go. That shit ridiculous, man. And it looks like it's just constantly going further and further back. Go check out Bosley's or something. If you're going to keep that shit, man, go and get the hair transplant or something, man. If you're going to try to keep it. That's what I recommend. Now, I was saying earlier about, the car channels. I watch the car channels, watch the content, and you know how they go out, the guys go out and they either fixing up cars, building them, or going out buying cars and, come back and, add their touch to it and hook it up. Well, I thought that same thing about this cat right here. I said, well, he's got a lot of forehead right there. As old people say, forehead. He's got a lot of forehead there. Got a lot of real estate right there, bro. So I took it upon myself. I said, well, maybe if I add my touch to it, what it would look like. So I took it upon myself to say, well, I'm going to go ahead and give him a little touch up right there. Put him a little Mercedes emblem on in front of that motherfucker. I was thinking more of the Mack truck with the little dog on the front of that shit because it got a lot of space there. Let it go, bro. Let it go. Let that shit go. God damn, let it go, man. And he's not the only one. There's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of them out there. Now, another one. And I watch this guy on Sundays. He's an analyst too. And he seems like he's a real good guy. What's been watching me? Everybody's been watching for quite some time. He's been on CBS, NFL Today. You already know. JB, man. JB. Let it go, bro. Let it go. Let that shit go, man. And I'm talking about he got it fried and dyed. But that hairline, man. Bro, you what, 72, 73 years old. Let it go. That shit should have been gone, bro. Some people just hold on to shit. If you're going to hold on to it, go get a fucking hair restoration. Get that shit restored, man. Because when it's like that, it's time to let it go. It's time to let that shit go. Now, I've always, cared about my grooming and all that shit, man. I grew the beard out. I tried you know, the gray, but it wouldn't turn. I wanted it to be all white, and I know it probably takes time. I'm trying to rush this shit, but I prefer it to be all white. And, I've said before, I'm a just for men user. There's a lot of these cats out here that use a lot of different, formulas or dyes or whatever. And, some of them, they go out, they use just for men. I've seen a lot of them. They use that jet black. Something I don't do. I don't use the jet black because it looks just like what is called jet black. Look like fucking paint. Some of them, they don't wash it all out thoroughly. Some of them leave it in there too long. Don't wash it all out. But, I use real black, okay? I use real black. And it's, that thing, you kind of have that natural like look. Put that shit in, man, and eventually in due time, man, I'm going to let this shit whiten up. I'm hoping it will whiten on up all the way because I don't like the spotty shit. Shit look like I'm a fucking Dalmatian. I don't like that. Don't look right to me. I want the all white. A lot of people's like, let it grow out. It looks so distinguished and all that. I'm not ready for that shit yet. But when the time comes, I will rock it, and hopefully it'll be all white. You see this shit? I'm a poster boy, man. I'm a poster boy for just for me. I'm a poster boy. I'm a poster boy for just for men. Oh shit, that's some funny shit, man. But I wanted to talk about grooming a little bit, and I my thing is with the beards and all that. There's a lot of guys out here, they shit on point. I've seen some with, they, had the little two-tone with some gray in it and black, and it's all fine and dandy if you don't do it the right way. Some of them, man, just don't. You need to leave the fucking dye alone. Don't fuck with the dye. Some of them, like they leave the dye in. They leave the shit in. You got one part gray, and then this other part is just super black, and man, it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. I'm the type, I really care about my grooming. If I'm going to either do it the right way or I'm not going to do it. A lot of them out here, man, need to be educated on this shit. But for right now, I'm rocking the black. And eventually, I've had some, like I said before, I've had some instances where I let it grow out a little bit, just didn't look right to me. I want my shit all white. And I got some partners, man, that shit is all white, and that shit dope. I like that all white. That Peter Thomas look, with the white beard and shit. Eventually I'll do that. For now, I'm going to continue to rock the black for right now. So, it's a win-lose. I mean, it's a win. I mean, it's really not a win-lose. I mean, it's a no-win because people are going to say something, whether it's black or they're going to say something if it's all white. Somebody's going to always have something to say. So, it is what it is. It is what it is, man. All right, man, I'm about to take a quick break. I'm going to come back. More of the Jock Johnson podcast. We're going to talk some more funny shit after the break, y'all. Stay tuned. All right, y'all, we are back. Boy, the Jock Johnson podcast. Yeah, I'm opening this joint acting a fucking fool tonight, man. There's some funny shit. This just shit I be thinking about. When I got some alone time, I be thinking about some crazy shit, man. So why not bring it to light? Why not bring it to light? Man, now I'm gonna tell you something else. That was funny to me this weekend, and I know it's always been all over fucking, the internet, social media. This past weekend, Colorado, one big game they had. They won big. Um, Shador and Shiloh Sanders, man, they are all seniors, and it was a senior day. One of the funny things that happened there is with the parents, Dion, Coach Prime, with the guy with the sons, walking them down the strip of the field. That's like Dion was running a fucking passing route, walking with his sons to meet their mother. And when they got to his ex-wife, how he dipped off to the left. That shit was funny, man. That shit was funny as hell, man. So he fled the scene after he saw his ex-wife. I watched that shit. No telling how many times, man. How Dion, man, he took that quick fucking left, that exit stage left on him, and got on down, man. He got on down. So, I thought about it. I was like, man, if I was still coaching youth football, I probably would name a play after him, a passing play, a route after him, man. Having to change the play at the line. And Dion. I'm out to the receiver. He knew what to run. Coach Prime took that fucking left quick, man. They are really, really on that shit on social media, man. That shit was funny as hell, man. Shit was funny. I had to bring that one up, man, because it was funny. It was funny as hell. But you know, another thing, I was on the grooming and all that shit, man, with their hair and the beard and, let this shit go. Some motherfuckers need to let it go, and they really do need to let it go. Why hold on to that shit? Let it go. But this next shit, man, I want to talk about this man bag shit. This man bag. Uh, I know I'm getting a little older now, okay? And there's nothing wrong. I mean, I prefer a backpack, man. I rock, carrying a backpack. And some of these guys with these bags, man, some of them they know how to rock their shit, okay? These man bags, I call them. They know how to rock them. Some of them look suspect as hell, man. Some of them probably look like they, thinking that they should have been had these bags. We should have been rocking these bags because they feel a source of freedom or some way with these fucking bags, man. But, it goes back to this one particular guy, football player. And look, the guy is a talent. Not taking that away from him. He's a talented motherfucking player. And some of you already probably know who I'm about to talk about briefly because I actually saw it on Pac-Man Jones' podcast where he was talking about this shit with these damn bags and look, there's no problem. I don't think it's an issue with the bags, man. It's just how it's being presented with the motherfucker. And what people do on their time, and I'm not calling nobody nothing because I don't know that. I'm not, but it's suspect. It is kind of zesty, as they say, with these goddamn bags. And you already know who I'm talking about. So, Deebo Samuel, man, we was talking about that shit a couple weeks ago. Him coming to a game, especially this one here with the little shorts on and how he was carrying the bag and how he was walking. Man, that shit didn't look good, man. That shit there was that shit was suspect than a motherfucker, man. And it's been a number of pictures and floating around with how he carrying bags and shit. Just a number of them. How he's walking with the bag. And I mean, that's his business. But the shit doesn't look good, man. For, somebody is tough an athlete like Debo. Debo's a monster on the field now. I'm not taking that shit away from him. But these goddamn bags, how he walking with these bags, that shit don't register well. It don't. And the internet is not gonna give you a break with that kind of shit, man. Them motherfuckers, they go. Man, I wish I had the clip of Pac-Man was talking about that shit, man. Man, these goddamn bags, man. Look, I was always, and I'm quite sure a lot of these guys were too, but because I'm over 50 years old, about to be 52. Always, taught to carry that motherfucking wallet. And I know a lot of these guys, man, these rich guys that play sports and all they have is, a lot of them, they be carrying a lot of money and shit on them. They need something to carry those stacks in, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, some of these cats, they know how to rock that shit, though. They know how to rock them motherfucking bags, man, without, just being cool with it. But some of this shit is ridiculous, man. Motherfuckers carrying goddamn bags and this old switching and twitching and zestiness. That shit don't look good. Don't look good at all. But, it's their life. That's what they want to do. They want to, like I said earlier, people gonna talk about you regardless of whether you can be just being your regular self and somebody's gonna have something to say about you. But damn, don't give them the ammunition. That's what I'm trying to say. You give them the ammunition to really, really come at you. Just like Unc, man. Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp, man. I admire that guy a lot, especially with, as an athlete and as a podcaster and all, man, what he's been doing, man. I give him the praise, man, because he been fucking them up. Never no hate. I love what he's doing with the podcasting and all, but they've been, they was on him a lot, and they've been on him recently about this dog shit here at Thanksgiving. About his dogs. And then, before then, with the damn outfits and all that shit is, hate gonna come at all costs. It's gonna come. But, he had this thing this past week with the dogs. Having dogs at his dinner table. People were having their opinions about him with the dogs at his table. This man can do what the fuck he want to do. Those are his dogs, okay? I have dogs. I've had dogs for quite some time now. Small dogs, but I have them. And one day I'm going to bring one of them in here. And hang out with me. But I actually thought I had the damn shot of Shannon with the dog, but I don't have it on here. I thought I had it on here, but it seems like, people having a problem with the man with the dogs at the dinner table. Now, I was always raised, that, that shit, you don't do that shit now. About having dogs at the table and feeding them at the table and all that shit up in your lap and all that at the dinner table. No, do that shit. I don't do that. Now, I play with my dogs, have them, hold them or whatever from time to time, but not at the dinner table. Don't do that shit. But at the end of the day, it's his house. It's his dinner table. Do what the fuck you want to do. But it also goes back to, and I was always told that too growing up, you don't eat every fucking where you go. You don't. Because you got to know, man, somebody that has animals. That's just like somebody come to my house, I'm having a dinner, man, I don't want nobody feeling that way, man, he got them dogs in the house, man. He ain't finna be cooking. I ain't finna be eating there and all that. I have a dog. No, man. My dogs, I don't have my dogs nowhere around like that. They get their ass in their space or they in their kennels. You know, I'm not fixing to have that. And I'm definitely not going to have them at the damn dinner table. Not going to do that. They're not fixing to be sitting in my lap. I love them, but I don't love them that well. To have them up in my damn, and all the licking in the face and all that. No, I don't do that. I don't do that. So, yeah, people was really going in on him about the dogs at his table. He was feeding the dog. He was talking about, how much money he spent on the dog. I remember the little small dog, I think, some time back, he had purchased that dog. Saw a shot of him in the airport and all that shit. I think he spent a pretty good penny on that dog. So, but, whether he spent tens of thousands of dollars on the dog, man. I mean, at the end of the day, it's his decision. It's his house. Is what he like doing. That's him. But that's just something I don't do. I don't do that. I love my dogs dearly, but I don't do that shit. I don't do that. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. You go in your spot and eat your food in your spot. Your designated area I got for you, that's where you go eat your food at, away from everybody. You go to your spot and they know their spots. So no, I don't. It's not my call, man. You know. But I had to speak on that shit. I actually thought I had the photo here of Unc with his dogs. This little dog, the small one and the bigger dog at the table. He was feeding them. So, it's on him. It's on him. That's his decision about what he want to do with his dogs, feeding them at the table and all that shit. Because what are the chances of me or any of us visiting him for dinner at his house? Chances are slim. You don't know. I'm not gonna say never. You don't never know what the future holds. You never know. But in the right state of mind, I don't think that's gonna happen no time soon. You never know though. But that's his house, and I'm quite sure that he wouldn't, if he did invite somebody over, he wouldn't. He would make sure everything was on point and not make you feel uncomfortable with that type shit. But you know how people take shit and run with it. They take it and run with it. But it's just something I don't do. I don't do that. All right, so if you hadn't, man, check my boy out, man. I actually had him on the show. It's just like a little brother of me. He's a recording artist. My man Echo Remix from Houston, Texas. Originally, I think from Shreveport, Louisiana. He lives in Houston, Texas now. Dope brother. I had him on episode 34 of the podcast. If you hadn't checked out that episode, go back and check it out. I had him on, did an interview with him last year. Y'all check him out. Check out his music, man. Having some hot singles, man. Great shit. And I actually hit him up earlier and telling him how proud I am of him, man, because brother is talented. He is talented. Also, in the future, be looking out for guests on the show. Guests will be coming back on the show. You'll have some episodes where I'll be in this motherfucker doing what I do. And then I also will have some guests coming on with it, just to come on and kick it with me and doing interviews. So be on the lookout for that. What else in this motherfucker before I cash out? Oh man. Football though, man, it was some great games. I want to speak on that just briefly. Football games this past weekend were, man, it was some great games. It was some upsets too. I thought Coach Prime and the Buffaloes was going to ease into the playoffs, but unfortunately that didn't happen. But they are getting a bowl game, so I don't know. I had to do a little bit more research on that about the bowl game and all that. But what a hell of a turnaround for Colorado. Also, shout out to all the local high school teams here in the area, here in statewide that just made it to state championship games coming up this weekend. Um, Also, shout out to Jackson State. I think Jackson State will be playing in the SWAC championship this coming weekend. I think it's against Southern. So it's gonna be a lot of shit going on this weekend coming up with football. Um, Actually, I got a young man from Brandon High School. I ran across him back probably about maybe 2 months ago. Maybe I think it's been over 2 months ago that I'm eventually get on the show. He tunes into the podcast and he was telling me how much he liked the show and looking forward to getting him on. Trying to wait till the football season is over with. They're actually in the state championship as well, so that'll be something interesting to really talk about, especially if they win that shit coming up. And then I got some other young men that wants to come on. They've been wanting to come on, but as I was saying earlier in the last episode about the technical difficulties I was having, so I wanted to make sure everything was cleared up on that end before I bring people on, because I don't want nothing to go wrong with this shit. I want shit to be on point because I'm an on point guy. And you guys know that shit, especially the ones that's listening to me and watch it. So, yeah. What else I got, man? What else do I got? Hey, man, if you hadn't checked out the podcast, check it out. It's available here on the YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe to it. Also, hit me up in the comments section for any comments. Also, set those notifications so when I drop a new episode, you'll be alerted. Also, if you want to be a guest on the Jock Johnson podcast, hit me up in my email at jockjpodcast@gmail.com. And also, you can hit me up on my Instagram page at The Real Jock Johnson. So connect with me. All right, it's about going to wrap it up. Yours truly, the mastermind behind the mic podcast, Unc. And we'll catch you on the next one. Out of here, y'all. Peace.